to talk about 100% responsibility mindset. Okay, my name is Michael Barayev. I built a team of over 150 plus sales guys in less than 2.5 years, and we did that with zero money invested. Now we have a solar company that's growing from coast to coast like butter on toast, and we're blowing it up in the South Florida market. So what does it mean to have a 100% responsibility mindset? Okay, 100% responsibility mindset is very simple. I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to give you a little story. You're driving down the highway, okay, and somebody just hits you from the back. Okay, my question to you is this. Whose fault is it? Is it your fault or is it their fault? Many people are going to say, oh, it's the person in the back's fault because they crashed into me. I'm driving on the highway. I'm driving forward. They hit me in the back. And my answer to you is very simple. Yeah, when it comes to the insurance, whatever, okay, great, it's their fault. Okay, fine. I'll let you slide with that one. But in reality, whose fault is it? If you really think about it, right? Number one, if you blame them, you just took the most powerful thing away from yourself, the power of control. You took the power of control and responsibility and you threw it on them. Because in reality, it's your fault. It's not their fault. Because you had the control to be there or not be there at that specific time of the day. So if you would have left your house 5 minutes earlier or 5 minutes later, you would have never been in front of that car that would have hit that car. Now, I know this sounds crazy. You don't agree with me, and I get it. But that's the difference between, a poor person and a rich person. They think completely different. Just like this. There's people that think that there's not my fault and this is my fault. See, the people that I hang around with that are very successful, they look at life and say, it's my fault. If anything happens, it's my fault. It was in my control. Does that make sense? So you got to think about that. I'll give another example. You park your car at a spot and you get a ticket. Whose fault is that? You might say, oh, I didn't see the sign. It's your fault. You should have never been there. If you would have not been there, if you were not there at that specific moment, you would have not gotten that ticket. Does that make sense? Think about that. So in life, nothing happens to you. Everything happens for you. And it happens because of you. And you can't blame anyone for not being where you want to be or achieving the results you want to achieve because you have to have this 100% responsibility mindset. I teach my guys all the time. If you're late, it's not the traffic's fault. It's not the car's fault. It's not your alarm clock's fault. It's your fault. You made a decision to be here late. Which 90+% of the time they don't show up late because they understand that is their responsibility. It's 100% their responsibility to be somewhere on time, and they cannot blame the traffic, the sun, the moon, whatever it may be. And that's the mindset you want to have, because the second you start blaming someone else, you're giving and releasing that form of power to somebody else. And you want to take that control, keep it within, because you want to look at the situation and say, okay, what could have I done differently? Could I have left 5 minutes earlier, 20 minutes earlier, take care of this, take care of that, right? If you start blaming everybody, you stop taking the necessary actions and strategy and thought process on what you need to fix. You can't. You can't reflect because you just took away that power to someone else. Like, hey, it's their fault. I don't have to think about it. I was late because of traffic. That's it. But if you say, no. Traffic was there. It was my fault for getting into that traffic in the first place. I should have left 10 minutes earlier. I should have taken the other highway. I could have done this. I could have done that. Now you're preparing yourself for not repeating that same dumb decision. And that's the power of 100% responsibility mindset. You got to understand everything is your fault. Whether it's good, whether it's bad. You are exactly where you chose to be in life. Nothing happens to you by accident. You chose to be here. Oh, Michael, I can't control the pandemic. Everything happens to you. You could have been in the planet of Mars or even the moon and you would have missed the whole pandemic. Michael, it's not realistic. Yes, it is. If you were rich enough, you could have been all the way up there. Guys, think what is in your control, right? And if you can put that into your hands and say, this is up to me, look at that situation and study that situation, see how can you make it different, that's the only way you're going to get better. Because the second you give power to someone else, you already lost. So I want you to think about for the next couple of days, next couple of weeks, what can you take into the palm of your hands and put into control for yourself? How can you make things better for yourself? If someone curses you, whose fault is that? If someone spits in your face, whose fault is that? If someone says no to you, if your team says no to you, whose fault is that? I want you to think about that. And the second you start thinking about the 100% responsibility mindset, I promise you, your life will change. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, let me know in the comments. I know this is a very big debate. I already know it's coming. I already know it's going to be tomatoes thrown on me. It's okay. But for those of you that enjoyed this video and you really liked it, share this with a friend. Share this with someone that you think will agree or disagree. I want to know their opinion as well. And don't forget to subscribe. And as you guys know, we'll see you in the next video.